Hello everybody, it is Jay from Aquatics back again today with a brand new video, and today we're going to be looking at ponds and plants. We're going to be looking at what pond plants are going to work specifically in your ponds. We're going to be planting our ponds ready for summer, and then we're going to be looking at a local fish store to see what plants and what stock they've got available currently. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one, so let's get started. So to start with on today's video, I'm going to show you the current situation in both ponds. So as you can see, the two goldfish in here, I have turned the pump off just temporarily as the noise is quite loud. The water lily has come back this year and is doing really well. It's doing much better than last year. I've got a little experiment going on over here with some Cypress Elf Ferry trimmings just to see how they do in the water over the summer months, hoping this might come through and start to really thrive in there, although I'm not 100% certain it will. And then we've got some grasses here. So I've got a few new plants for this one. I'm going to put in some oxygenators and we're really going to change the outlook of this pond. So this is the current situation with the Blagdon Affinity Mocha Octagon Pond. As you can see, we've got quite green water at the moment. We are going to have to get some more plants in there to absorb the excess nutrients. The plants that are in here though are doing really well. That looks stunning. I'm not too sure what it is. If anyone can help me and pop a comment, that'd be greatly appreciated. And then again with a grass type plant here, we are going to have to clean this up a little bit. Again, I've turned the pump off temporarily, but you just can't see into the water with this one. It really does need some action, and hopefully that will start today. But before we get started, we have a trip to our local fish store. As we're now into the summer months, and the summer being the most popular time for pond planting, there was a huge selection available. From plenty of floating plants such as frogbit, water lettuce and fringe water lilies, to a large selection of various marginals in a range of sizes to suit any size pond. The possibilities are endless to add that extra slice of nature to your pond. Some of my favourite finds from the marginals section today included this type of variegated sweet flag. I do already have one in the pond at the moment, and it is a really good backing plant to plant something in the foreground of as well. We've also found this cardinal flower today, and I do really wish I'd have picked one of these up. They have absolutely stunning colours. Next up, we have the oxygenating plants section. Now, oxygenating plants are probably the most important part to a healthy pond. They help to keep the water clear by absorbing up the excess nutrients and releasing oxygen into the water, a huge benefit for fish. We then have the deep water plants section, a huge selection of water lilies, and then next to those we also have the floating islands. These are all pre-made, and I absolutely love this one with the creeping jenny and the variegated sweet flag. I had to pick this up and you'll see it shortly. The rest of this side consisted of 2-litre pots of those larger marginal plants suitable for bigger ponds. They also have this lovely display pond that's full of mature plants, and it really gives you an idea of how everything will look once established. I then went to have a quick look at the available types of koi. There are plenty of Japanese koi and standard koi in all different sizes, starting with small, moving up to these medium-sized Japanese koi, to their huge display pond showcasing various types of koi, Japanese koi, ghost koi and many more. Just look at the size of that white koi there, it's absolutely enormous. It's literally just started to rain, but we're going to crack on with this regardless. So I've got one of these Nymphea water lily kits from Amazon. Now when you buy these from a garden centre or from a local fish store, they're about £26 for the water lily pre-made up. The kits are actually only £13.60 something on Amazon. So I'm really intrigued to see if this is the same quality and whether it will sort of grow the same. So the contents are sort of outlined here and the steps as to what you need to do. And on the back, we've got all the contents of the box, the basket, the pond soil, the water lily itself, and the gravel to cap it off included in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into this and we're going to see what it looks like all planted up. The plants that we'll be adding into both ponds today, I'm going to outline one by one, starting with hornwort over here, which will be wedged in between the plant baskets to float on the surface. We've then got the Elaeodiodenza, which will be planted in 2 bunches, and both plants are key for oxygenation. We've then got the Nymphea water lily kit, which I'll be planting and taking you through step by step alongside this fringed water lily that we picked up today. We then picked up this floating island basket. For £18, I thought this was very good value, consisting of the creeping jenny plant as well as a variegated sweet flag. And last but not least, we move on to the 2 marginal plants we got today. A variegated orange peel plant. We do already have quite a large one growing in the 400 litre Blagdon pond, and we do also have one of my personal marginal favourites, a marsh marigold. I'm now going to show you how to plant the water lily kit. So starting off here, you can see the lily, it is not in the best condition, so I will show you what we decided to do. Next, we have the pond soil. We do have the gravel to cap off the top of the soil, and then the pond basket as well. So we did choose instead to plant the fringed water lily in here. Now this does do best planted anyway, so it's no loss to us, and I would much rather plant that and for it to thrive, starting with the soil. So we've put the soil into the basket just like this, evening it all out and making sure that there is plenty of room for the lily to grow. I then take the fringed water lily plant out of its pot and plant it right in the middle of the soil to give it plenty of room and space to grow. We'll then take the gravel out of the bag and start to distribute it evenly across the surface of the soil. Now this caps it off and prevents the soil from leaching into the water. And that's all there is to it. A nice and easy 3-step process to planting your water lily. Now all that's left to do is plant your water lily. I'm starting off by using a planting basket to give it a little bit of leverage and bring it that little bit closer to the surface. Planting your water lily close to the surface will allow it to establish itself quicker, it'll allow it to gain more oxygen, and it will also allow it to gain direct sunlight. With a smaller species like the fringed water lily, the closer to the surface, the better. We then move on to planting our marginal pond plants, starting with the variegated orange peel and the marsh marigold. A marginal pond plant is a type of plant that does best growing on the edges of your pond or in the shallow waters. This is where the roots are below the water and the flowers and the leaves are above the water. What I wanted to do with this plant basket here, I wanted to mix it up a little bit. I wanted to give it a little bit of depth by planting 2 different plants into the same basket, starting with the variegated sweet flag at the back to add a little bit of height, and then the marsh marigold in the front. And when they flower, it will look absolutely beautiful with lovely yellow flowers. Another note worth mentioning on marginal pond plants is they prefer boggy, wet soil. They also like to be in shallow waters or near the surface, so these plant baskets that Blagdon do are absolutely perfect. When I'm happy with the position of the first plant, what I'll do next is just make sure I've got just enough room to fit that second plant in the front of the plant basket. So the marsh marigold will just sit nicely there in front. When it starts to flower, those flowers are going to droop into the front of the pond and they'll look absolutely stunning. What I'm doing here is just packing a little bit more pond soil into the top of the plant basket just to make sure that those plants are secured in there tightly. The more soil, the better. The more nutrients are going to be absorbed by the plants from the soil. And lastly, the final part of planting the plant basket is to cap it off with a little bit of gravel on the top. What I'll do is just take a couple of handfuls just to cap it off on the top to make sure the soil doesn't leach into the water and create murky water. And over in the smaller pond, I'm just placing in the variegated orange peel plant just on top of an upturned plant pot here, just to allow it to be close to the surface and allow it to thrive. Moving on to the oxygenating pond plants that we picked up, starting off first with these 2 bunches of hornwort. Now hornwort is a floating plant, it does grow rapidly. So what you want to do is you want to ensure, like I'm doing here, you're bunching it up with something, tying it up at the base of the roots and ensuring that they're kept in a bundle to allow them to grow. Next, you will then just plant them in like I am here. I'm wedging them into the back of the plant baskets. They'll then grow out and produce plenty of oxygen for the pond. They do this by photosynthesizing, absorbing excess nutrients and releasing oxygen into the water column. The second oxygenating pond plant that I've picked and to go into the smaller pond is Elodiodenza. Elodiodenza is another fast-growing oxygenating plant. However, this one does have a slight difference to the hornwort. It does prefer to be planted. It can also be used as a floating plant. However, if you do plant this in pond soil, you will notice a massive difference in the growth rate. Elodiodenza can grow very bushy very quickly, and stems can reach up to 1 metre in length. I'm arranging these stems in 2 bunches of 10, and I'm giving them plenty of space in between each other to allow them to grow and flourish as best as possible. Giving these plants space is key because they can very quickly outgrow and suffocate other plants growing in the vicinity around them. And while this could be beneficial to your pond, it's not so beneficial for the plants surrounding them. In the next few days, I will do an update and I'll show you just how quickly these oxygenating plants can grow and just how beneficial they can be to your pond. Here, I'm just going to take the plant basket and place it straight into the pond. With this being a shallower pond, there's no need for me to elevate it on plant baskets. As you can see, almost immediately, the fish love swimming in and out of these longer grass type plants. Not only are they beneficial to your pond, they're also great enrichment for your fish. And last but not least, we have our floating island, consisting of the variegated sweet flag and the creeping jenny plant. And all we do is place this directly into the water. I can't believe how good of a deal this was at £18 with 2 very well established plants already included. This is the finished product of the planting. It doesn't look too much different now, but in the coming weeks it really will start to change and you will really notice a difference. I'm hoping the green water in the Blagdon pond will soon clear up and the excess nutrients will be absorbed. Over the coming summer months, I'm really looking forward to starting to see the growth and the development of a thriving ecosystem. I really hope you've enjoyed this journey so far, and I may add a few more plants, so let's see what the future brings. And that is it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see what the ponds look like once the green water's clear, the excess nutrients are absorbed, and the new plants start to grow in. I'll give you an update in a couple of weeks and show you how it's getting on, and I can't wait to see what this looks like over the summer months. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.